Hey guys, what's up? It is Ripe again, back with another crossover between Entitled People and r/Revenge, focusing on awful neighbors. If you haven't already, please don't forget to check out my Patreon at patreon.com/ripeyoutube for exclusive Reddit content such as Just No Mother-in-Law stories. Without any further ado, let's dive right into the stories. And the first one is titled, Entitled Neighbor Invites Himself into My Home. So we are getting our stairs opened up in a 1950s cape. The guy is a one-man contractor who does amazing work. He has not been wearing a mask, but given the heat and for the most part the plastic barrier to stop dust and such while he's cutting and demoing, we decided to let it go. Well, our neighbor a couple houses down is buddy-buddy with this guy because he's also a contractor. While the plastic seal was up, he came over a couple times, mostly talking at the doorway or outside. We let it go even when it dragged on to 9 PM. Today, one of the last days when all the plastic has been taken down, he invites himself in my home to help the guy who, again, is a one-man shop. He also does not seem excited to have him around. No plastic up, no masks. I get annoyed down in my basement as I realize the multiple voices I hear are the contractor and my neighbor. I talk to my husband quietly downstairs and decide to go out for something. I am pretty shy and non-confrontational. I was not going to say anything even with my husband's high risk factor for the virus. But as I walk up, he is in my dining room and says,
"Am I annoying you that I am in your house right now?"
Clearly he heard me downstairs, and yes, you idiot. So I say, well, actually yeah, I'm not even letting family in my house right now given the circumstances. He ended up leaving, but not before offering again to help the contractor who has done amazing work all on his own. Also, the other day, this is the same guy who got mad at my husband for making 2 cuts slightly before 8 AM on a Saturday and who said,
"People tell me everything on this street."
Okay, sure, king of the neighborhood over here. And guys, I'm curious, do you also have any neighbors that essentially pretend to be friends with everyone but then talk behind your back? We definitely have those people in my neighborhood, in Europe, not really here in Thailand, and I absolutely despise those people. They will make a friendly face and talk nice with you, and then when you turn your back on them, they show their true face. I gotta say, maybe one of my weaknesses is that I cannot really pretend to not like someone. Some people are really good at essentially being friends with everyone. However, when I don't like someone, then I usually make that pretty clear. How is it for you? Let me know in the comments. And the next one is titled, I Love a Good Show. Independence Day came and went a few weeks ago, and just like everyone does, my neighbor lit off fireworks. We got some too and lit them off on the lake. It was awesome. I held onto some because my kids and I are going camping next weekend. I kept a few cakes and some lantern things. Since about a week before the 4th, my neighbors down the street lights off some mortars, whatever that is, or maybe he means mortars, I'm not sure, around 10 or 11 PM daily. At this time, my 2, 9 and 11-year-old are fast asleep. They get woken up and because my dogs freak out. Not to mention that I am a vet and sudden loud noises really get to me. So last night I took my dogs to my brother's and left them there, drank some coffee late and stayed up. I went down to their lawn and proceeded to light off every damn cake I had left at 2 AM. I ran and watched as they came out of their house to enjoy the show. I've never been one to cause trouble, but this crap had to stop. They seen me standing on my front lawn watching and rightfully assumed it was me. I was not hiding or anything. Now, they have stopped by my house this morning to tell me how I woke their kids up and how their dog is traumatized. I said, do stupid stuff and you can expect stupid stuff to happen to you, and shut the door. My SO says I should have just let it fizzle out, but I couldn't take one more night of those explosions right over my house. It felt so good to watch their lights turn on and see them scramble out of the house. Edit to those of you asking and DMing me, no, I didn't ask them to stop, I was trying to be patient and not cause rifts. My SO is taking the kids to her sister's until I apologize to them, which I will never do. I'm leaving my dogs at my brother's for a few days in case stuff here gets crazy tonight. Edit number 2, I have a sign in my front yard saying I am a vet. I put it up every year and it has been up since the middle of June. And guys, I would like to know, are you fans of fireworks? Personally, I don't really like fireworks because A, I consider it a waste of money, and B, I don't really like loud noises that much, except when it comes to motorcycles. So yeah, the only time I really do fireworks is on the 31st of December. Let me know how it is for you. And the next one is an epic tale, and it is titled Neighbor's Son's Life Ruined After Messing with My Maniacal Father. We are from the south, and now when they first moved in, we used to shoot guns a lot just for fun and had little games like who had the better shot and stuff like that. Well, they were from California, so they had never shot or knew anything about guns, and it startled them. They asked us to not shoot during the evening if that was possible because they host dinner parties quite frequently for their clients, whom are from California as well, and last time they said they were all scared to death. So we stopped. Since they asked politely, we stopped at around 2 to 3 p.m. before the evening, and then they said they were leaving town for a few months and their son would be there, so if possible they would like my dad to keep an eye on him and check up on him. Well, he partied a lot. My dad didn't say anything about it really, since he was 21 and it wasn't any of his business if he got drunk, smoked some green stuff, etc. But he looked out for potentially harmful things like doing something stupid, like drunk driving and stuff like that. And then the almost nightly raves started about 2 weeks in, and at first we didn't care, it was their property, their business, but then it got louder as they built a party area, not but about 50 feet away from our house on their property line. We then just asked nicely to keep it down a little since they came closer and we had a baby, the second of my 4 little sisters in the house, that was losing a lot of sleep over this, and he acted all smug and said,
"It is the country, baby. No noise violations out here."
And went on to even saying things like,
"That's on you, bro, for having a kid."
And before anyone says anything, I crap you not, the little prick actually said something that's stupid. Then proceeded to say,
"Your kid's health is not my problem, guy."
Now my dad is not a violent person at all. My dad is quite the pacifist and believes we can solve more with words than fists, but don't literally say, "I'm gonna ruin your child's health because I'm a jackass," and then act surprised when he starts moving towards you to beat your ass. Needless to say, he, like most guys like him, didn't try to fight but had his friends jump in front of him while he talked crap. My mom talked my dad down as he had his can opener ready to open a can of whoop ass, and we went back. Well, my dad had enough, so he did what he always does when he would think. He lit a cigarette and sat outside and watched nature. He then, with the skin crawling, gut bubbling, devilish smile, turned to me and said, "Son, go get our guns and bring out the targets. Also, get the cheap ammo. We are gonna burn through it." So, being in a southern state and just right out of city limits, we shot our guns with extra cheap ammo all night long for about 3 weeks, 50 foot from them at targets, and ignored them as they pleaded with us to stop. They called the sheriff so much they started ignoring them and never sent another car, and even threatened them to stop calling, as what we were doing was very legal, and my dad said the last time they came out and told them we are within our rights to do this, he said,
"It is the country, baby. No noise violations out here."
And that is true, it is all community regulated. If our nice neighbors asked us to keep it down, we did. That's what you do, you be polite to your neighbor, but this ass clown was the opposite of neighborly, and I doubt couldn't even spell polite, so we continued until he fell into stage 2 of my satanic father's trickery. He told his parents. Then my father made a mental sound with his big joker's grin as he ran to get his house phone and called them to tell him that we were scaring them with our big bad shotguns and hunting rifles while the damn party was still going on. And that was precisely the plan for my dad. You see, my dad played chess, not checkers, and just like a pawn he moved and manipulated him into thinking it was his idea to call his parents, but it was my dad leading him in that direction all along. My dad, you see, he is a bit manipulative against people he doesn't like, and as a person that has done a combination of sales and hard labor, he knows how to read and play on train of thought and emotion. He could manipulate them into doing whatever he wanted. Well, El Dumbo and his big ass ears fell for it, and you see, his parents didn't want him partying or drinking, and as Christians they really didn't want him smoking something very green, so when they talked to him they heard the music and knew immediately that there was a party, and my dad very loudly said, "Young man, I need to speak with your parents about this. I smell illegal substances, you reek of alcohol, and these parties are getting out of hand." His parents heard him say that and ordered him to put my dad on the phone. He then told them everything, but made it sound like the son wouldn't give him the number to their hotel before the mass popularity of everyone having cell phones. Plus they were older people, like in their 50s, which was true, but he technically never asked further after the first time that he did. He then told them about the state of their and our property because of this. And anyway, they were back in only 7 hours via flight. They were coming back that day, and that was a part of the plan as well, and found the place trashed. They not only apologized, but offered us a vacation. They owned some hotel in LA, I don't remember which one, it was like a 3-star one, and gave us a 2-week pass, free food, etc. It was fun, didn't lose anything in LA. Which is a very nice southern way of saying I would never live there even if you paid me, but was fun nonetheless. In addition, I heard they kicked him out too after that, since he refused to look for a job and refused to work for the family business. The best part is, since his parents were honest people, they told the dean of his college he was attending that they will no longer be paying his tuition, so if he doesn't get you the money, to drop his ass. And that is what they did. Future ruined, now working at the local McDonald's and lives in a rundown part of town instead of his family's really nice 6-bedroom, 4-bathroom house. And guys, I gotta say, that was the most epic southern revenge story we have ever read so far. And to be honest, no offense here, this story could have also been from Mama-san. I love these stories. And honestly, to me it seems like the people in the southern US are some of the nicest people you can meet. Are there any states in the US that are well known for being exceptionally friendly? Let me know in the comments. And the next one is titled, "Yes, I understand it is a public street, but now let's learn the difference between legality and civility, okay?" This happened in the summer of 2016, when my wife and I moved into our new home on a tree-lined brick street. Nice neighborhood, but nothing fancy, blue-collar working men and women. We met the neighbors, my wife made cookies and they invited us to their pool parties, we swapped food stuff and recipes. It was all Aussie and Harriet until I put a fence up around our backyard for security firstly, as anyone could come off the back alley and right up onto our porch and back door. Plus I wanted to be able to let our 2 short hair pointers out to play without having to tie them up or supervise them. Well, our neighbors didn't like that, and who can say why? It disturbed their visual routine, they were resistant to change. They suffer from fractophobia, never did find out. 3 things changed. 1, they no longer invited us to their pool parties, and 2, we no longer traded cookies and pies, and lastly, they began parking in front of our house. It is a public street and you can do as you will, but my 2 spaces were constricted by a telephone pole that had guy wires coming down from it, meaning you would have to be careful getting into and out of your car lest you scratch the paint or worse, clothesline yourself with metal cables. So we had but one good spot that lined up our car door with the sidewalk perfectly, and that became their default parking space despite the fact that they had their spaces and a 2-car garage off the alley in the back. They also started an illicit piano lessons business, better than drums I suppose, and apparently decided to keep their front spots open for their customers. I work odd hours and it always seemed there were a line of cars in front of both houses, so I would end up having to park frustratingly far away, and with winter coming, trudging through the slush carrying groceries had zero appeal. So I watched and waited until one fine fall day with the leaves changing from green to vermilion and brilliant gold and a morning chill that promised of winter soon to come, it happened. their 3 to 5 cars, the live-at-home unemployed daughter maintained a rotating cast of paramours, were gone and nobody was giving piano lessons. I struck. I raced to my dad's and hitched his houseboat to his Beta farm truck and towed the combo back home, parking a lot of gloriously tacky redneck hardware directly in front of their house while my vehicle took up our prime spot and most of the telephone tripwire space as well. And I left the combo there for almost 2 weeks, unmoving and rusting loudly right in front of their front porch swing that they like to perch on in the evenings. Pressure from my wife and the impending monthly street sweeping finally led to my removing the blockade, and they've not parked in front of our place since, nor have we spoken more than 5 words in 2 years, and that is fine by us. The woman cannot bake anyhow. Oh guys, and I totally forgot to mention, if you have watched until here, please don't forget to post some star emojis in the comments and also like the video if you want to support me. Thank you so much in advance. And the next one was posted on r/ripestories, our own subreddit, and by the way, you can submit your own stories and I might read them in a video by user Mummy Jigglypuff, and it is titled, "What did you just say?" I posted this on Tales from Retail, but for some reason they wouldn't post it. My work experience today was unusually aggravating. Me is me, L is lady customer. I was assigned to the self-checkout attendant station today, which can honestly be more work than regular register, but it is ultimately a better assignment on a Saturday morning. Anyway, I was asked to cover the break for the cashier at the express register, and my supervisor was going to fill in at the self-checkout. I was cashing out the first customer after I logged onto the express, and following is the conversation. Me, did you find what you came in for today? Lady,
Uh-huh.
me, good, do you have your price discount card?
Uh-huh.
She provides her card and I scan it. I finished the order and told her the total. She hands me the money, coughs, and then says,
I'm so glad that everybody has to wear the masks, because I just coughed and I was told that I tested positive, so I don't have to worry about coughing on anybody.
Me, not positive that I heard this statement right. Excuse me? What did you say? Lady,
Yeah, I got tested and my doctor said that I'm positive. I'm going to go home now and just rest in the air conditioning.
me, in shock and more than a little flustered. Okay, go rest, have a nice day. Lady,
I will be thinking of you.
I started coming out of my shockedness and started spraying the belt, scale and everything on the register area with sanitizer. I asked the customer, who hadn't heard the customer, luckily, to please wait until I had cleaned. Because this has become the normal thing to do between customers, she did not realize that I was cleaning a lot more of the area than I would have ordinarily. Usually it is only the belt, scale and debit/credit machine that would be cleaned, but I cleaned everything, including the plexiglass partition, the keyboard, the money drawer, the back belt, the check stand, things that the lady hadn't even touched. I carry a travel bottle of hand sanitizer with me and poured half of that onto my hand and actually started rubbing it on my arms and elbows as well as my hands. I grabbed the basket the lady had used with about 7 paper towels and threw it on the floor. When the cashier whose break I was covering came back, I took the basket with more paper towels to my supervisor, who was still at the self-checkout waiting for me to come back, and told her what happened. I asked her if we should just throw the basket away in the trash compactor. She asked if I wanted to go to the bathroom and wash my hands and arms with soap and water, and I didn't really want to go home because my shift was about to end in less than 45 minutes. She told the assistant supervisor, who told someone else, and eventually, before I left work for the day, it had been relayed to everyone working at the front end. As soon as I got home, I took a shower, so what I have to say in response to this is, stay the hell home if you are sick. I gotta say guys, with all these incredibly stupid people out there, I just cannot imagine working retail right now. This job must be absolute hell right now. I definitely feel for you and all the people out there that have to work retail in these conditions. The next one is also from our own subreddit, and it was posted by Nikita Akashia, and it is titled The Saga About My Crazy Neighbors from Hell Part 5. I am surrounded by idiots and ready to snap. Hello my fellow Ripe Stars, I hope everyone is doing alright during this hard time. I am done. I am about ready to just snap and murder someone or set everything on fire. Fire is the answer to everything. Okay, sorry, I'm just tired. The good news is Mr. Butthole is moving out, his room has already been emptied and he's still at home, so we won't see him again until his parting dinner. And by the way guys, in case you're not familiar with this saga, because we have read all the other stories a while ago, the author is essentially living in shared housing and he has a lot of crazy neighbors. Either way, bored crazy girl is currently at home, but she's coming back tomorrow. I still hate her and want to throw her out of the window. This girl is always salty, never cleans up after herself and is just being very negative in general. And her taste in music is also terrible. I actually stopped giving a damn because I'm just sitting in my room all day with earplugs in anyway, so right now I'm just like, that girl is not my problem, I don't care, ignore her, she's not worth your time. Just focus on school and getting back home and then I never have to see her again. Mr. I'm Dumb just came back earlier also. A few months ago I cooked an improvised dinner because we were out of bread and I had to tell him over 7 times that we were out of bread while he kept asking me stupid questions. I now learned that to deal with stupid people you just have to say the same damn sentence whenever they ask a question until they get it. And even then they usually don't really get it. He also once said that he wants to build a house on the property of the school. We were outside waiting for the caretakers to come out because we were going to a restaurant and the guy started with,
"It's nice on this mountain. I want to live here. I'm going to build my house on the way down the mountain."
And I told him, dude, you cannot just randomly start building a house on someone else's land. You need permission. And even then, you cannot just build something on private property. What are you, stupid? He, of course, did not understand that you cannot build a house wherever you want. The others told me to stop arguing because he was too stupid to understand, so I just ignored him. Then there are the other 2 kids, Salt and Soy Sauce. Salt and Soy Sauce are usually quite okay, but sometimes talking to them is just draining your energy, especially Salt. You start a conversation and the kid then randomly changes the topic. He also gets very heated during an argument because he just cannot take criticism. I admit that I don't like getting criticized either, but at least I am able to reflect on it once I am calm enough. I usually just tend to ignore Salt because I can only handle so much of someone yelling incoherent nonsense. He also just claims to know about things he has no clue about because he
talked to an expert once.
It's just so tiresome and annoying, so I just clink out of the conversation and start playing anime songs in a loop inside my head. Then we have Jesus, who moved in a few months ago. He has terrible table manners, cannot cook, but is okay at least. I just want to move out and for this to be over. I am just so drained most of the time because I only have stupid people around me. And whenever I try to mediate, they just yell at me to stay out of it. You know what? I'm done. I'm totally done with this. I'm just gonna focus on my school, finish my graduation, move back home and then forget that these idiots ever existed. And I assure you, the moment I am gone, everyone is gonna turn into headless chickens, I think. Leave me the illusion that I am needed, okay? But yeah, since I'm the only person in this house who can actually cook good food, the moment I am gone, everyone is only gonna eat junk food and garbage. At least I can keep my curry recipe at home. Hope you guys are doing okay and I wish you all a healthy holiday season. In Germany the students are all on summer holiday now, not me though, my school doesn't have set holidays. I cannot wait to pass my exams. And by the way guys, unfortunately this is the last story for today, but I just wanted to say a huge thank you to all the people who still post their own stories on r/ripestories. I really appreciate that and I feel honored to have these awesome stories exclusively written for me. Whenever I can, I will continue to read these stories because I really like them. Either way, I hope you enjoyed the stories for today. In addition, if you want your Just No Mother-in-Law fix, because I think at the moment not many people with real voice are reading these Just No Mother-in-Law stories, I suggest to go to my Patreon at patreon.com/ripeyoutube for more exclusive, mainly Just No Mother-in-Law content. Either way, thank you so much for watching, I hope you have a fantastic day and I see you again tomorrow.